Every year, millions of travelers make the same mistakes that lead to confiscated items, missed flights, and a heck of a lot of unnecessary stress. Today, I'll be walking you through each of those mistakes so you know what they are and how to avoid them on your next trip. A common reason that travelers end up missing their flights is due to confusing the boarding time with the departure time. The time printed on your boarding pass is the departure time, which means that is when the plane is scheduled to push back from the gate. For domestic flights, gate doors typically close 15 to 25 minutes before that departure time, and once they close, the gate agent is not reopening them for you, no matter how close you are or how nicely you ask. So if your flight departs at 2 p.m., you really need to be at the gate and ready to board by 1:30 at the latest. For international flights, boarding often starts 45 minutes to a full hour before departure. So plan accordingly. The easiest way to avoid this one is to subtract 45 minutes from your departure time and treat that as your personal deadline to be settled at the gate. Depending on the airline, you can also sometimes see your actual boarding time listed right on the flight ticket, so check for that before you leave home. Another big mistake would be not arriving at the airport early enough, which these days is probably earlier than you think. The old rule of thumb used to be 2 hours for domestic and 3 hours for international, but that is no longer enough at most airports. Several major U.S. airports have actually updated their recommended arrival times in 2026, with some doubling their previous guidance. The current recommendation is to arrive at least 2.5 hours before a domestic flight and 3.5 hours before an international flight. And it is not just long security lines eating up that time. Sometimes it is technology failing at the worst possible moment. If you have flown recently, you have probably seen facial recognition at TSA or boarding, and apparently I am not the only one who has had trouble with it. I experienced this firsthand trying to fly out of Bangkok on a 16-hour flight to Canada. The airport was using facial recognition to verify passengers, and when I stepped up to the device, it kept rejecting me. They told me that the facial recognition system was not able to recognize my face because my hair was styled differently from how it was in my passport photo. They also gave other reasons like the fact that I had backpack straps on, which honestly doesn't make a lot of sense. I think the system was just glitchy, but either way, this led to an hour-long delay that I did not plan for. The point is, you never know what will slow you down. It is always better to be sitting at the gate with time to spare than sprinting through the terminal. And if you miss your flight, the airline is not liable to rebook you or refund your money. The next mistake is not verifying where your gate actually is before you do anything else. Going back to that flight that I almost missed out of Bangkok, the facial recognition technology glitch was only part of the problem. Once I finally got through, my gate was a 20-minute speed walk and a shuttle bus ride away from the main terminal. And that is not unusual. At many larger airports, your gate could be in a completely different terminal, requiring a shuttle, a train, or even an extra security checkpoint. You look at your boarding pass, see a gate number, and assume it is a short walk, but you will not know the reality until you are already there and running out of time. So the first thing you should do after clearing security is go directly to your gate. Find your gate first, see how far it is, and then you can decide how much time you actually have before boarding starts. This one might sound funny, but using the wrong bathroom at the wrong time has actually caused travelers to miss their flights, or even just have a less cleanly experience in the bathroom than you would want. Boarding can start earlier than expected, and if you are in the restroom down the hall when your group is called, the gate will close without you. Use the restroom before you settle in at the gate, not after, so you are ready when boarding begins. And while you are at it, skip the restrooms right next to the gates, since every passenger in the area is using them and they tend to be the most crowded and the least clean. Walk a little further down the terminal, try a different floor, or use one before you go through security, since those tend to be cleaner and less busy because most people rush straight to check-in and security without stopping. Skipping online check-in is one of the most common airport mistakes that travelers make, but thankfully, it's also one of the easiest to fix. Most airlines open online check-in 24 hours before departure, and if you do not have a checked bag, checking in online is basically a fast pass straight to the security gates. You get your boarding pass sent right to your phone, and you can walk past everyone standing in line at the counter waiting to check luggage or check in, because they did not do it ahead of time. Airlines also have strict cutoff times for check-in, and they enforce them. Most domestic airlines cut off check-in 30 to 45 minutes before departure, and for international flights, it can be 60 minutes or more. If you miss that deadline entirely, you risk losing your seat or even the full value of your ticket. Let us know down in the video comments if you check in for your flights online before you head to the airport. And while you're down there, consider subscribing to the channel, as it's a free way to support Ollie and I, and it also helps more travelers find these tips, so we really appreciate it. Once you have checked in online, the next mistake to avoid is relying only on that digital boarding pass sitting on your phone. Phone batteries die at the worst possible moment, screens crack, airport Wi-Fi drops, and sometimes the scanner at the checkpoint or the gate just cannot read a dimmed or glitchy screen. If your phone dies while you're standing in the TSA line or trying to board your flight, you will be happy you have a backup option. Trust me. So when you check in online, take the extra 30 seconds to print a paper copy of your boarding pass at home. If you forget to do that, most airports have self-service kiosks right near the check-in counters where you can print one when you arrive. Having that physical copy tucked in your bag means a dead phone is just an inconvenience instead of a crisis. The next airport mistake would be letting your phone battery die before you even board the flight. It is so easy to get caught up watching videos, catching up on work, or scrolling through social media while you are waiting for your flight, and then you look down and realize your battery is at 20% as boarding begins. This is a bigger problem than most people think, since you cannot count on having a working power outlet at your seat on the plane. Sometimes the ports are broken, sometimes they are the wrong type, like USB-A instead of USB-C, and some older planes do not have outlets at all. On top of that, you are definitely going to need your phone when you land for ride apps, hotel information, directions, or even just to text your family that you made it. So keep an eye on your battery while you are waiting at the gate. And if you need a charge and all the obvious spots near the seats are taken, here is a pro tip. Check behind vending machines. Outlets are almost always grouped in sets of 2 back there, and usually one of them is unused. I might look a little sketchy reaching behind a vending machine to find an outlet, but I would rather look a little sketchy and be able to charge my phone than not have my phone charged. If you have been at the airport for hours dealing with security lines, gate changes, and hunting for outlets behind vending machines, the last thing you want is to also be uncomfortable in what you are wearing. I used to think that looking put together at the airport would mean sacrificing on comfort, at least until I was introduced to today's video partner, Halara, and their line of Flex denim. Halara Flex denim looks exactly like real jeans, but stretches like yoga pants with a super soft, stretchy waistband, which makes them perfect for long plane rides. They are wrinkle-resistant, so regardless of whatever awkward position you get yourself into on the plane, you walk off looking like you just got dressed. My go-to styles are the boot cut and the high-waisted loose jeans, but they have dozens of styles, colors, lengths, and sizes from XS to 4X, so you are bound to find something you love. Or at least something the women in your life are going to love. You can find the link in the description and the pinned comment to check out Halara for yourself, and then don't forget to use the code TRAVEL at checkout for a discount. A mistake that happens way more often than you would think is leaving your belongings behind at airport security. TSA estimates that around 100,000 items are left behind at security checkpoints every single month, which adds up to over 1 million lost items a year. The wildest part is that over 25,000 of those items are laptops. Yikes. The problem is that security can feel rushed and a little stressful, so once your bags come through the scanner, your instinct is to grab them and go. But that is exactly when things get forgotten. Phones placed in bins, watches set aside, wallets pulled out of pockets, even passports laid on the counter while you were putting your shoes back on. All of it gets left behind when you rush off to your gate. I used to leave things behind while I was traveling all the time until I picked up this one simple habit where I will always take a moment and look behind me before I get up and leave any area. So whether that's sitting at a restaurant table or going through the TSA line, I will take a second to look back and just double check that I have everything. It's such a small habit, but it has saved me from so much stress and so many lost items. TSA does hold unclaimed items for 30 days, but tracking them down after the fact is a hassle you do not need on your trip. Some good news is that the TSA claims they will make every effort to reunite passengers with their belongings and encourages them to place their contact information on the outside of their electronics, such as laptops, in case the item is left behind. The next mistake is assuming your valuables are safe just because they are in your carry-on. The problem is that if a flight is full, the gate agent may ask you to check your carry-on suitcase to baggage claim, where it goes down to the cargo hold just like checked luggage. If you are asked to check in your carry-on suitcase, take a moment to move anything valuable or essential, like your medications, wallet, travel documents, and electronics from your carry-on suitcase into your personal item bag. Your personal item stays with you during the flight under the seat in front of you. This is especially important when it comes to prescription medications. If your carry-on gets checked and something goes wrong, you could be without your prescriptions for days, and depending on where you are traveling, getting a refill might not be simple or even possible. A simple fix would be to just make sure that you're packing any of your valuables and your medications and your essentials in your personal item bag from the start. And while you are thinking about what to pack where, you should also know that common everyday items are getting confiscated at TSA checkpoints every single day, and a lot of travelers have no idea they are not allowed. If you want to see exactly which items are catching people off guard right now, I have a full video breaking that down. I will put it on the screen and link it in the description for you to watch next. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join Ollie and me back here for more travel tips and hacks each week, and we will see you in that next video soon. Bye.